was raised in a great home, my knowledge of God was more of a head knowledge, less of a heart knowledge. Once I got out from my parents' influence, I chose to go my own way, like unfortunately so many of us do.
I grew up with the pressure about being a person who had to externally look perfect, but inside I was missing something. And by the time I hit some rocky relationships, I was at the end of my road.
When I was climbing the corporate ladder at 39 years old, I found myself unemployed. I was fired from my position for reasons outside of my control.
My dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which devastated me. And I remember the morning after he passed away, I was going to a college visit, and I prayed my last prayer that I would actually pray for the next 10 years.
About 2 years ago, I ran into a gentleman invited me to what he called it as a testimony lunch, where we get together and we have a group of men who come from the business world and have an opportunity to say what Jesus has done in their life. I came to that lunch meeting and heard a guy's testimony that was just incredibly powerful, and I knew I wanted to get involved on a weekly basis with this group, and it was Businessmen's Fellowship.
I was quiet the entire time. I didn't say anything, but just having some older men just come up and give me a great big hug and tell me that they love me. That wasn't something that I expected. It wasn't something I had really experienced before in that way ever in my life, and it just made my heart melt. It just impacted me so powerfully.
They've gone through the same situation that I had gone through, and they were able to share with me how God got them through it, and I became to understand how I could rely on God in business. Now I could go to Him every day with the decisions that I had to make, and that's what we're about. We're men that are supporting other men in the marketplace.
And what happened was God just took a hold of my heart with some older men who loved on me and spoke reality and truth into my life. Just simple words of encouragement saying, hey, I believe in you. Hey, even though where you're at right now isn't like the fulfillment of your dreams, God sees something in you and He's going to pull it out of you. And just that kind of language helped me a lot.
Business and Fellowship was formed in September of 1995 in Kansas City, Missouri. We were formed to bring men together in marketplace ministry because we had a vision and a passion to carry on a dream and a prophecy from Demas Sakarian about one-on-one ministry in the marketplace. Carpenter to a carpenter, a plumber to a plumber, a manager to a manager. And the idea was that we can step into the marketplace to talk to them on that basis, because they wouldn't be going to a church, but they would go into a luncheon setting or to a meeting setting with men to talk about how Christ has impacted their lives.
As a businessman myself, I really see my business as a calling and a ministry. And I see my clients and the people who I come in contact with every day as the mission field. And I've just seen God do some amazing things in the life of men through BMF. And I know there are so many more lives that God wants to touch.
With athletics, you're always used to the team. You want to develop a team, and obviously to be successful, you have to understand what it's like to not just do well yourself, but to judge your success by how well everybody around you is doing. And so being able to bring really that from my athletics into the Businessmen's Fellowship has been great.
I just love just the affirmation that I'm okay, that I don't have to be perfect, I don't have to be my best at all times, that I'm somebody who is acceptable. And I'm loved for who I am, even right now in the process.
God used men in the marketplace to make a difference in my life, to help me get through some rough spots. BMF has been used by God to help people through the many challenges that people are confronted with. I've seen men come and hear the saving power of Jesus Christ where they've turned their problems over to Him. I've seen men who were considering suicide, surrender, and ask for help. I've seen men come with marriages totally, completely destroyed, where God had entered in and changed the whole situation. And that's part of what we do, is we take the relationship we have into the marketplace and share what Christ has done in our lives, in our families, with others. We hope to see you at the next Businessmen's Fellowship meeting.